This spiritual coach struggled to scale her revenue using a webinar, but keep watching to find out how we fix this using email. And if you want to implement this strategy on your own webinar, just drop me a line below and I will personally reach out to you to see if it would make sense to work together. So, I had a client who ran a webinar, and when she came to me, she told me that a lot of people signed up to this webinar, and even more people actually showed up. Like, people love this webinar. But for those who showed up, the energy was really high. People were hyped about it, and she was able to successfully sell while she gave her live presentation. But at the point where she contacted me, she wanted to scale her sales, and she didn't want to constantly have to do her presentation live because it was really exhausting her. That was a big bottleneck for her. And plus, she wanted to make sure that she wasn't flaking on her email subscribers because in between presentations, she wasn't emailing anyone. So here's what we did together. First thing we did, we made sure that even though her presentation wasn't live anymore, that people still took the time to watch the replay. So the people who signed up, we made sure to follow up with 3 daily emails to let them know to go watch. But beyond those 3 days, we didn't waste our energy trying to get people to watch anymore, because if they didn't click to watch a presentation at a certain point, we knew that they would never do it. Probably they're busy, they don't have an hour of time to sit down and watch something. So instead, we started sending them emails with little value nuggets that came directly from the presentation. And at the end of each value nugget, we gave them an opportunity to buy from her. If they didn't buy after 5 more days, they would get moved to the newsletter segment. And in the newsletter segment, that's when they would receive 3 emails a week. So instead of flaking on them and only emailing them like once a month or barely at all, we would email them 3 times a week. So how do we get ideas for these emails? I would show up once a month to interview this client, and from this interview, I would write her story. It's as simple as that. I would write story-driven emails to send to her subscribers. Those people would receive it 3 times a week. And at the end of each story that I would tell from her point of view, there was an offer to work with her. So an average of 1% of people converted on the webinar or in the 5 days following the webinar. But we found that the majority of her sales came much later when we kept following up with her subscribers. And because I took care of this for her, she was able to really show up more fully inside of her program to serve her clients who had decided to work with her. And this really helped her increase the retention rate of her program. So why am I telling you all this? If you are running a webinar or a workshop using ads and you need a long-term strategy in place to convert more of those new people who come in on your email list, and you want to have a long-term strategy to convert them into buyers, I would love to help you out. So just drop me